Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Off Topic where we bring you real teen voices and real teen stories. And today we have Matthew who's bringing his stories from his experiences with Disney Dreamers and his voice acting hobbies and future stuff with college and the end of his senior year. And without further ado, hey Matthew.
Matthew Aldana. Uh, I am a senior going to Short High School in Wisconsin, and on track to go to University of California, Irvine, with a major in physics. I have ADHD, combined ADHD to be very specific, a high level high level functioning autism, and then also just a general anxiety disorder. So my family's literally been an amazing guiding force for me, just in general, because I literally couldn't speak until I was 3. They had to use sign language for a very long time. My family's amazing. Thanks to my parents' work and my own determination, we're here now, and I'm incredibly proud of them. I have neurodivergent, very much so. And personally, I'm proud of it. I know a few people who have flat out stated to me, and I'm not saying names, just that they have a neurodivergent or even autism, but they just don't want to say anything about it. And obviously, yeah, there's a lot of things and a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to, but for me, it's just I don't really care. I mean, the people who are going to stick with me are the people who like me for me, not because, oh, you're not autistic, you're cool. No, I don't. I just believe in the idea that being myself and being, nice to others and just kind of being who I want to be, just it's kind of just gonna work out eventually, because otherwise it's like, why should I change myself for other people that I am not even aware of what they want?
Right.
Just kind
Exactly.
of letting it happen naturally is better for me. Anyway,
No, that
I,
was really that was from the heart, Matthew, and that's the truth.
yeah,
I mean, I appreciate you giving that perspective, and what you said
yeah,
was the complete truth, which is why,
yeah,
I'm so thankful to have you on this episode because
yeah.
that's
Yeah, I mean, there's a I will off topic actually. There's actually I mean, legitimately, it's like I just kind of go into this very often because for me, it's like one of my favorite things is doing this, just being able to talk to somebody, being able to help people.
Mhm.
I mean, there are people who legitimately just come to me for help, and I'm like, okay, make sure to seek a professional later, but if you want to talk to me, I'm here.
Right.
And I would, love to be able to help. So it's like a case where for me, talking about this kind of stuff or just talking, from just myself, I think is just it's fun because I enjoy doing it. And the best thing, I know I can do it. If I can help somebody and have somebody wants the help, because that is a massive part of it, then dang it, I'm just gonna help and see
Right.
who I can help. Yeah.
That's that's perfect. It's really good that you give back to your community and you're there to help. And that really shows that people trust you and they feel very comfortable around you, which is a really great gift to have. So
Yeah. To be
I
honest, it's like
applaud you for that.
as an autistic, one of the best things is just knowing somebody trusts you, somebody is not. Because I'm gonna be honest, last year, it was kind of trusting people was tough because you never knew where, no matter what you did, you didn't know when people were going to just let go for one
Mhm.
reason or another. Maybe it might be your fault, and maybe it might not be. So just kind of having that connection with people, being knowing, unless I do something wrong, they're just not really going to just dip out on me for no reason. Or if I do something wrong, people are going to tell me. I love it when people do that because
I
it's
do
like
too.
it's an accountability thing, and I feel like people are embarrassed to say, "Hey, stop," because it's like, no, to be honest, some people actually don't like me for that because it's like they think I'm too blunt, which
What's
at
wrong
that
with
point
being
that
blunt though? I mean, I feel
I
like
don't.
that's important.
Yeah. Being blunt is good. I think the main issue people don't like being blunt is because most people don't do it well. Most people are
Right.
like, stop. You're just stop. And it's like, hey, I'm just gonna let you know you might want to stop. There's a massive tone difference that I just feel most people miss
Right.
that. Yeah.
There's a difference
Uh,
between constructive criticism and just like
being
being,
an ass. Yeah,
yeah, like being
yep.
completely critical, which some people can't
Yeah.
handle.
Speaking of people knowing, so I'm also very proud of being able to say that I am 50% Mexican and 25% Hispanic. Both of my families have just like my great grandma on my mom's side is directly from Spain, and same with my great grandpa on my dad's side, but from Mexico. So we do have it. So realistically, for me, it's like I do have a lot of just like kind of pride in being different. Okay, so let's talk about Trevor real quick. It is white. No offense. If anybody is for some reason watching it from here, it's not offending you. It's offending. It's just it's
It's the
suburbia.
truth. It's
It's
suburb.
suburbia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's which for one, yeah. No, I mean I'm incredibly proud of my parents for being able to get to a point where we are like financially really well off to be able to like to live there. So obviously it's great. Um, but also oh my god,
Yes.
so I was gonna kind of just say, recently, so my high school has like an electronic like side essentially, on its lawn. It's cool, and one of the things I saw a little bit ago was talking about a presentation, by a speaker like talking about unconscious bias, and I'm like, yes, if
Yes.
anything this community needs to know, yes,
Yes.
um, yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. So I'm just gonna kind of say something about the theater department. Seniors in both respective years had complained to like admin about our theater directors. So
Yeah,
because wait, man, very
yeah.
specifically because of his treatment of me. I had skipped the first show that he was a part of, Antigone at Shore High, because I wanted to do tech at the time, which I didn't like that because I was a because so I'm not gonna say my ego's fragile nowadays. I'm gonna say that I have a healthy ego. Back in the day, if you even like insulted me at all when I was a freshman, oh, I'm breaking down. I'm immensely proud of my progress, but at the time I couldn't really handle because I felt I wasn't doing good at tech, and the fact that I wasn't getting scheduled much for tech,
Hmm.
it made me not really like
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
which was an insanely. Listen, I'm glad I did drama because it's made me really resilient nowadays. But at the same
Hmm.
time, it's like kind of petty reason. I didn't think about it, but either way, um, yeah. So I wasn't a part of his favorites, is what I'm trying to say. He is a man who will typecast even before the season starts. He picks shows on. Okay, here's the thing: picking shows on knowing what talent you have is fine. That's
Yeah.
actually the smart move because then it's like a case where you know who you're working with. He casts even before like audition starts.
Oh my God.
Um,
Biblically accurate theater department shenanigans.
which isn't a bad idea, but the issue is
Yeah.
it's just. But either way, if you're not part of his favorites or annoy him in any way, I want to let you know. I told him about my disabilities on the first day I was working with him. I'm just gonna be blunt. Sophomore year, during what was it, 42nd Street, I filed a discrimination complaint against him because what happened was that there was a recasting for a role, and it was what I read for that role a lot better. Didn't cast me as because he said, and I thought you're talking too fast, and I'm thinking that could be worked on.
That can
He
be
didn't
worked on.
he didn't feel like it, and everybody agreed that the kid who was chosen for that role, who had a Texan accent, was not the right choice. So yeah, disability discrimination complaint was filed against him, and with two, with two people already saying that he's treating me poorly, lots of evidence to prove it, and him just not treating me nice. Yeah, so he was so yeah, we got that complaint in. We talked with him. We put it in abeyance because I'm like, it's gonna take too long to do this. You turned into treating me really nicely. He treated me the best out of anybody, which more felt like an insult because he still didn't cast me any better and anything.
Right. Right. It's just for show, so he wouldn't get into more trouble.
Yeah, and the fact is, legitimately, any time like that I've caught him off guard, it is very obvious he still thinks pretty lowly of me, but he's just doing it so then it's like he doesn't get his ass kicked.
Right.
Which
That's just so disrespectful though, because
yeah,
in theater, and even like in modern day acting, which I know is different from theater, like with actors, if
yeah.
they have a natural accent, they are set up with a
I don't.
language in
Yeah,
which you
I don't even
talk.
have an accent.
Now, I felt like that was just like really, I know that happened a while ago and I'm sure that you moved on from, but that was like really messed up
Yeah,
for him just
yeah,
like
I have.
talking
No,
too
yeah,
fast. I'm like, so that's not how feedback works. And that
yeah.
can be worked on.
The funny thing is that that was literally one of the accommodations we set up with him, that he would talk to me about what I needed to improve on. And then every single time, it was essentially just a bunch of bullshit. Um, it was essentially just like you're reading the line too fast, you're not connecting with the scene enough, you were too nervous. Every time I got screwed out of Pippin, because, and I quote, Matthew, since Pippin is such a high role, we don't think that your voice would be able to handle it.
Are you serious? What
The
was the
vocal
reason?
the vocal director still agrees to this day that I should have gotten Pippin. Mess.
Yeah, that's
During Legally, yeah,
on.
during Legally Blonde, I left.
I don't blame you. That's like really like that is a huge jump.
The worst part is
Yeah.
that he treated me amazingly during Pippin, but it was such a case where it felt like he was just doing it just so that he wouldn't get like
Right.
in
It wasn't
trouble.
genuine.
Yeah, I'm
It was
the
out
fact
of
is
respect.
the genuine. Here's the thing. Once again, I was also cast like in a 9-person play. The Importance of Being Earnest. Loved it. I was a butler. It was really fun. It was great. Um, the fact is, yeah, Trafer treated me well, but it felt like he was doing it just so then, like, I would be in it so I wouldn't get mad at him. Which, some people get petty, and I get that. Sometimes you have to get, well, this isn't pettiness. This is just me realizing what.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I went to tech during Legally Blonde, and it was one of the best experiences I ever had. That was amazing. I love Legally Blonde tech. Building the stage was great. I loved it. I did, and then I also want to mention, either way, that's enough. I should probably talk about the senior year. Yay, senior
Do
year.
it.
So I'm just gonna kind of preface this with last year. One of my friends who was a senior last year, she's great. I've known her since the first grade. She was my back in the day. We had multi-age classes, so it's like first grade, second grade, you would have a buddy who was like
Oh, that's
a year below
nice.
you. She was my buddy when I was in first grade. She's great. I kept contact with her. She's actually currently in Milwaukee. I'm probably gonna, like hang out with her just before I have to head back over here for California for the summer. She's great. Last year, she said, Matthew, your senior year is going to be awesome.
Oh.
It's been in the most roundabout way possible. Like, for the most part, like if you look at my situation, it's not amazing. It's only because I kind of like it's only because I put in comparison to other people who are, similar situations to me, or putting in perspective of how it used to feel, and then putting like everything in perspective. I'm happy because of the fact that I'm able to realize, you know what? I feel mentally lighter. Situation may not be great. I feel mentally lighter. I feel happy. I feel energized. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I don't spiral as much. Um, but either way, going into detail. But yeah, no, senior year as an autistic, it's been okay. So I'm just gonna say for everybody, senior year is like kind of
It depends
it
on
is.
each
It
person,
is.
I've
It's
heard.
just like senior year is like one of the most like things for me where it's like I look back at it and I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, didn't it? Um, it felt like
That's
it
junior
felt
year
like
for me. Yeah.
yeah, okay. By the way, how is junior year spring be for you? Because it usually hits everyone hard.
Junior year spring break.
No, junior year spring in general, because last year for me was hell.
I'm in the hell right now.
I'm gonna be honest. Last year spring, I was the worst mentally I've ever had. I would constantly text people. I would basically be begging for validation from literally everybody. Last year was rough for me, to say the least.
Yeah, junior year has
But
a little something special in it.
yeah, it does. Crack. Anyway, so yeah, no, I mean, for one, I haven't tried with anybody, so I think that's a pretty good emotional sign of me just realizing, I can wait. Either way, anyway, sorry, that's off topic and that's an entire thing. But either way,
You did the thing.
so the back. Anyway, so basically, yeah, no, for me, senior's been. I'm gonna say that the latter half of senior year, probably my favorite time in high school. Um, so the reason that senior's been so good for me is because since December, I was gonna say that there's a lot of stuff that happened during December. It's one of the few things that I'm so unhappy with, and I generally kick myself over it to this day, to the point where I'm not sharing it.
Okay.
Is that just a bit later, I had to actually go to a house, emergency center for like actual like therapy. I said for like quick therapy. I left that therapy session literally feeling the lightest I had in years.
Oh,
Therapy is great. You guys should do it.
yes, thank you. Mental health is important. Your
Mental health
brain
is
is,
important. Yeah, our brains are wild. They're weird. Just get therapy. The fact, and also the best advice for me, find a therapist who just doesn't feel like a therapist. They feel like they understand you or like they can connect with you easily. Because literally, most of my the people who have been amazing to me, like I love my I love one of my he taught me tennis over the summers for 2 summers in a row. He was great. He knew nothing about autism. He wanted to understand it, and I literally and he was the advisor for a club I ran for a little bit called Neurodivergent Futures. He didn't even have like a disability. He just wanted to understand it, and he wanted
Yeah,
to
that's
just be there
awesome.
for me. And but yeah, like during the initial time that like last year, like I ran it. It was actually going really well. We got like pretty good attendance numbers each time. Everybody seemed really happy. Met some people who were great, who I didn't really know existed before, and I'm really happy I did that. So the year started. We decided to push it like to October, just because the co-president didn't really want to start that early. The only people who would show up besides us two were two people who were guaranteed to show up no matter what, and we just realized no one showing up, not a single new person. We had done like we were on PA, we had done a lot of advertising things. We had a
What?
booth at the club fair, and nothing worked. And
What happened
I
to like all
realized
that support from that teacher and from other?
we even had a lot of signups on the sheets at the club fair for people to show up, and nobody. We had a UWM trip planned because there's like a really cool like little like area for special needs, and it just kind of fell through because nobody showed up, and we realized pretty quickly why. It was because um not naming names, there's somebody with Downs at our school who is basically treated as a pet, and a lot of people just kind of look at that person and just kind of assign oh, just disabilities, like how people feel about that students apply to everybody else's disabilities. And we realized the reasons that people were ashamed to kind of label themselves, and they
What?
just didn't really want to deal with that labeling, and so they just didn't really show up because that was a labeling thing. And that's yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I realized like recently the people who I am friends with are the ones who are more mentally mature, the ones who kind of
Yeah.
realize, there's a massive difference. And I just realized that because I looked at a lot of people and I realized these people are fine, but they're definitely not mentally mature. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That maturity makes a big difference.
anyway,
Yeah.
so this is what I was talking about with unconscious bias, right? So yeah,
Yes.
being a Mexican in a community where 0.3% of the community is that, sorry, 3% of the community is Mexican.
Mm.
And then obviously the autism with, I mean, listen, I'm not saying that I'm entirely innocent. There have been incidents, anger issues, people that I've pissed off.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest, I've made mistakes. It's definitely not, since a lot of people don't know about certain stories, just kind of know the fact that I am very, I want to I want to fix wrongs I've done in the past. Either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically that's just kind of something for me because it's like, so I'm just gonna say that senior has been really fun. I tried acting again, didn't like it. I was in this show called Hollow. It's a really good show. It was a one act that we that also I think the fact that I was cast as a role where it's I'm just saying there may not be correlation. The fact that I was cast as a character, the only time I've been cast as a major character in a short drama show is when there's a different director. The director for that show also told me, and also Matthew, listen, you belong to that role, but also you deserved it.
That's right.
Because
That's how
I'm
acting
gonna be
works.
honest, I had okay, so during the senior, like the stage test, everybody lined up like based on the amount of shows that they did. You saw my post.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the stage test. I had like legitimately like the second most amount of shows that you could have done at Short High School. And I don't even think that included like on acting or tech, and I don't even think that included when I did the two shows when I was in elementary school. So I've literally done the most shows out of everybody, and Miss Hall realized that. And I think that she just yeah. So, but either way, what happened is that at the time, so like I take I take AP Physics 1, and then and AP Cal KB. So at the time I was getting used to it. It was like October, September. The tests were kind of kicking my ass, so I realized at the time there is literally no way I'm going to be able to get through this year, like start like kind of building up strategies for this year and be
Right.
able to, like do the show because remember, we're also taking into competitions. The show was going to be going to like competitions, it was going to be
Right.
going all around. So literally, and also it would have kind of interfered with showcase, which I was very hell bent on, helping direct. So it would have like literally, it would have been okay. If I had done Stuck with Hollow, it would have been a period of like literally into like the middle of November that I would have had been doing that show, and I'm like, I can't
Mm,
handle that. That is too much. Either way,
right.
so quick note. Basically, yeah. Learn your limits. I'm glad I did help because I learned my limits, and that was cool. So, but yeah, no. So senior year,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things. Honestly, the few people I am like really good friends with, I've tightened that bond a lot with them, which has made me really happy. I've realized, academically, you don't need an A. You don't need an A to be happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, don't worry. No, you don't need an
Yeah.
A to be happy. For me, I've gotten a lot of B's, B pluses, B minuses. I'm fine with it. For me, I've been happy because I'm not like too stressed about grades anymore, and I'm just doing my work. I'm doing it well. Whatever grade I get, as long as I'm putting my best effort in, I'm happy.
Right. Yeah. I feel
Um,
like people overcomplicate that part of high school
yeah,
slash the college process way too much, which I feel like leads to so much like
the
angst.
adrenaline stress. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, you're
yeah,
putting that stress on yourself. And
yeah.
like
I
you
mean,
said, it's about the effort you put into it.
yeah. I mean, sometimes it's fine to have stress. Sometimes you need to get to a certain goal. Other times it's unnecessary. Um, I will,
Yeah.
but this year has honestly been my favorite, even with all these, wackiness and
Silliness.
bad thoughts of of the first semester. I'm happy. Actually, I want to sum this up. Summing it up, be yourself. To be honest, being yourself and not listening to like it's important to listen. It's important to listen to criticism, but also just kind of be your own person. I think so
Mhm.
many people have lost that nowadays due to so many social pressures because of media, TikTok, and all that. Be yourself. You can be you. Obviously, be socially appropriate and be socially respectable to others, and be nice, but just be kind.
Serious. Like I'm not trying to sound like a glazer, but you have a gift there and you're really great at your words. And I know you shared with me that Reddit thing, like here's my story but I feel like at the end of the day, you brought a lot and I'm just super thankful we were able
Thank
to do
you.
this. And thank
Yeah.
you.